Suddenly, the whole of the Roman Empire had to become Christian. So one day they were pagan, worshipping the sun god. The next day they were Christian, worshipping the Son of God.
Someone could say, well, the name Easter comes from a pagan Anglo-Saxon god of the spring. And you say, yes, that's absolutely true. How long does it take for a festival to become authentically Christian? Let's say, for the sake of argument, that I wouldn't say it's Constantine, because these things are in play before Constantine, but let's say that the reason Easter is a spring festival is because of pagan spring festivals. Okay, so let's say the first year that takes place, people are like, oh, this is fun, this is familiar. I kind of remember this from when I was a pagan, now I'm a Christian. Let's fast forward 20 years. Do people still have that association? 40 years, 60 years.
You have Easter at a time when we would be celebrating the spring equinox. What we see with Easter / Ostara is the survival of symbolism. Like, why do we do Easter egg hunts at Easter? That has nothing to do with the story of Christ's resurrection. But it has everything to do with blessing the land and honoring its fertility and the growth of spring. The goddess Ostara, or Aostre to give her Anglo-Saxon name, her symbol was the rabbit and the egg, because the egg is fertility, it's potentiality. I don't remember anything about rabbits or eggs in the Bible. But some of these symbols, because they were important to folk practices, just survived.
And this is what really got me, because I was instrumental in starting the drama ministry in my church, and I would write, direct, and produce and play Jesus in Passion plays on Good Friday and Easter Sunday. But yet Yeshua says to the Pharisees, they demand a sign. He says, the only sign that's going to be given to you is a sign of the prophet Jonah. And just as Jonah was in the belly of the fish for 3 days and 3 nights, so also the Son of Man will be in the heart of the earth. Well, 3 days, 3 nights, that's 72 hours. How do you get 72 hours from Friday to Sunday? That's like seriously fuzzy core math right there. You can't make that happen, and yet that's the only sign that would prove that he was who he said he was. So here I am playing Jesus on the cross, not realizing that I'm actually denying the only sign that he said that would be given, because there's no 72 hours of 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth doing that thing.
There's so many things that we don't realize are in the Bible that once we open them up and we look at things from just a different perspective than what we were taught by mainstream, church doctrine, so many other things come alive to us. And so when we go back to the New Testament and we realize that the disciples kept the feast, that our Messiah kept the feast, that Jesus kept the feast, it really begs the question, now why don't we do it?
It started off with the church fathers. They would stop Christians from meeting up with their Jewish neighbours. They would certainly ban anyone from doing anything like Passovers instead of Easter. The Sabbath was moved from Saturday to Sunday. It was all subtle things in order to sort of move the church as further and further away from its Jewish roots, and to divorce anything from the true origins.
You start reading about the Sabbath, and it's like really Sabbath and feast. You see words like forever, everlasting, perpetual, in all your generations. Not until my son comes, and then it's going to stop, and we're going to change everything to Sunday, Christmas, and Easter.